Welcome into today's live NBA mailbag with me, Jimmy Crowther. We're going to be breaking down all your questions about any NBA team or any NBA player. If you're like, Jimmy, how do I get my questions on screen? Tune in live every Friday afternoon and use hashtag NBA or send me your super chats to jump the line and get your questions on screen, just like Levi did. And here's the first question of the day. Levi says, who can sign Andre Roberson? Also, how much is a veteran's minimum so I know how much Whiteside got? Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Andre Roberson has not been signed yet. Because when he was playing defensively for the Oklahoma City Thunder in the bubble, he actually didn't look that bad, and he made a couple of three-pointers as well. I think he would be pretty good on a contending team. Maybe you look at a team like the Lakers or the Warriors that could still use some wing defense. The Warriors might be the perfect team for him, as they obviously lost Klay Thompson. Their backup wing depth is not very strong right now. You go out and get a defensive guy like Roberson off the bench for the minimum. Why not? Speaking of the minimum, to answer that second part of your question, the veterans minimum is 1 year, $2.6 million or $2.4 million. Either way, it's still a good chunk of change, a little bit more than you or I will probably ever see in our lives, Levi. Vince says, with J.J. Barea coming back, who do you reckon is the unlucky fella that will be cut by the Mavericks? My money, unfortunately, is on J.J. So the reason I don't think it's J.J. Barea is because the Mavs are always going to need a veteran presence. In fact, every team that wants to win a championship needs a veteran leader on their squad. That's what J.J. Barea is on this team, and it's a minimum deal. In all honesty, look, the Mavs like Wesley Iwundu. They think he can be a solid player, but I'm going to be really, really honest. With the amount of wings this team has, Wesley Iwundu might be the odd man out. I believe in him. I would like to see him stick around. I think he could make a real impact on this team. I know Luka loves Boban, but Boban's just not as useful on this team. You could watch for him. I think the guys to watch out for are Boban, JJ, Wesley Iwundu, and then I don't even know who else it would be. I think those are kind of the three guys. Maybe Cauley Stein if his game doesn't translate, but I think Cauley Stein's going to be an important piece to this team. Those are the players that I would watch out for that could be cut by the Dallas Mavericks because they have 16 guaranteed spots. Someone's got to get cut. My money, I think, is on Wesley Iwundu. Let's go to Phoenix. Born in bred. Were you born inbred or were you born and bred in Phoenix? Let me know. But the question is, are the Suns a playoff team? Guys, the Suns are a playoff team. This is a team that is going to be right in the mix for that really 6 to 8, maybe even like 6 to 10 seed with the depth of the West. But I think they could be right up there. I think their ceiling is probably 6. I don't think they jump any higher than that. Listen, as good as this team is, they're still really young. I know Chris Paul ups the average age by like 5 years or whatever. But at the end of the day, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, Cam Johnson, all 4 of those guys being in your starting 5 is really, really young. And with one of your main guys off the bench being the number 10th pick and Jalen Smith, you got a young team. So they still have a lot to prove to me, but I think this team is a playoff team. It also kind of depends on how the guys above them, the teams above them in the Western Conference really shake out. But I think they're a playoff team, but do you think they're a playoff team? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I do think they are. I think they're better than teams like the Memphis Grizzlies, the New Orleans Pelicans. I think they're right up there, probably close to what the Warriors could be at the end of it when it's all said and done because of the injuries. But I think they're a playoff team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Kenneth Booker's got a super chat. Says, any chance Roberson signs with Denver? Like, if Denver's going to let Torrey Craig walk, they're not going to go out and sign Andre Roberson. I don't know why they let Torrey Craig go as easily as they did. I think he would have been a helpful player on this team. But if you're looking at the Nuggets and you're like, hey, would it make sense for them to go get Roberson? It would, but it would have just made more sense to keep Torrey Craig on the team. So, I mean, similar players, I don't see Andre Roberson going to the Nuggets. Blada00 says, what's the most overrated NBA team for the 2021 season? Ooh, good question. Most overrated team. I'm going to be honest. Until we see the Nets play a game together, are we really convinced that that's like a top 5 team next year? Because if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving come in and let's say their egos clash, they can't get along because that's very possible knowing both of those guys. That's not good. Number 2, Kevin Durant's coming off an Achilles injury. We've only ever seen one guy come off an Achilles injury and be better than he was before, and that was Dominique Wilkins. That's very rare that happens. Think of guys like Kobe Bryant who got injured like that late in their season. It just doesn't work. And also, Kyrie's an injury-prone point guard. If Kyrie's down for a while, you go to Spencer Dinwiddie, that's fine, but Dinwiddie's no Kyrie Irving. You got to be careful overrating this team until we actually see them play a game together. Kevin Otto says, are the Hawks a possible playoff team? I wouldn't even say possible. I think they're definitely a playoff team. That team altogether right now is so strong. Gallinari, Bogdanovic, if they can play well together. John Collins, if he can come in and play some defense. The only question I do have with the Hawks is that defense. Because if you roll out a starting five of, I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here. Let's say you roll out Trae Young, Bogdanovic, maybe it's Cam Reddish, John Collins, and Clint Capella. Sure, Cam Reddish is good, but he's still really young. Clint Capella is good, but offensively he's a black hole. Like, that defense is kind of bad. So I'd watch out for them defensively, but at the end of the day, I still think that's a 6-8 team in the Eastern Conference. Andrew Gutierrez says, Kings fan here, do you think Hield and Whiteside could be traded to a contender at the trade deadline? I think Hield could. I don't think anybody cares about Hassan Whiteside. I mean, he's on a minimum contract, so you're not really going to trade him for anything super useful, in all honesty. I mean, if you package him with Buddy, yeah, you get a little bit of money there. But I think Hield is definitely going to be traded by the NBA trade deadline. Watch out for the Dallas Mavericks to get in play there. Maybe if the Golden State Warriors are like, this team isn't working, we need more shooting, they could go out and get Buddy Hield. Maybe if a team like the Lakers, it doesn't like what Wesley Matthews is doing and they want to package, West and maybe KCP, that could be a thing. But I don't know what the return is going to be because people are like, oh, Buddy Hield, he just came out of college, he's really young. Buddy Hield's 28 years old. So, I mean, you're not going to, trade the house for him, but I like Buddy Hield a lot. I think he could be really helpful on a good team. And if you want to know where any of these major players are going to go when they go somewhere, make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/chatsportstv. Growing like crazy. We're quickly approaching 225,000 subscribers. That's my next goal. I know we got to get to 224, but I'm jumping over that, and I'm getting to 225. So help me do that at youtube.com/chatsportstv. Let's go to the super chat from Vince. Says, under the radar players that could be running for most improved player award. Ooh, good question. This is a fun one. Most improved player, I mean, I'd watch out for maybe DeAndre Ayton coming in and playing alongside a Chris Paul. I think that could definitely be a guy that gets most improved player award. I think my pick is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know if I'd call him under the radar, but third-year point guard playing on arguably the worst team in the NBA now in the Oklahoma City Thunder with their random, hodgepodge of players. He could easily average, 24 a game on a really bad team and be just fine. I'm a big fan of SGA. I would watch out for Ayton. Maybe watch out for Bagley, but I don't know if he counts because he's hurt. If he can stay healthy, I think he should be up there. But those are probably three guys that I'd watch out for. Kevin Hankinson says, who will win Rookie of the Year? So my pick from the beginning has actually been Obi Toppin because I think Obi Toppin might be the most NBA-ready player of this draft, at least when it comes to the offensive end. Now, defensively, he's not good, but when you're looking at Rookie of the Year awards, you're usually looking at what they did on the offensive end, and that's what Obi Toppin produces. I think Tyrese Halliburton would be up there if he didn't share the backcourt with De'Aaron Fox. Obviously, you got to say the number one pick it can be up there as well, even though I don't know if I would say Anthony Edwards is going to make that big of an impact. Wiseman, from an impact perspective, is definitely going to make a huge impact, and I think that will be something that, if he comes in and this Warriors team is really, really good and they're playing good defense, it's probably because he's holding down the middle really, really well. So the four guys, I would say, and I know I just threw a bunch of names at you, Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, Obi Toppin, Tyrese Halliburton, and, of course, LaMelo Ball. Because I think LaMelo Ball will be the best player of this draft class when it's all said and done. I'm just not sure he's on the team that's going to help him succeed right off the bat, but could be any of those guys. Let's go to the next question from John and Kui. Kyle Kuzma and a Lakers second-round pick for Lou Williams. No, I don't think a second-round pick in Kuzma is worth Lou Williams. Lou Williams was the sixth man of the year, or I guess second runner-up to Montrezl Harrell. Kuzma's fine, but I think the Lakers are okay, with just Kuzma. And second-round pick isn't going to be enough to kind of move the needle for the Los Angeles Clippers when it comes to Lou Williams. I think he would be a huge boost off the bench. Obviously, he would change kind of the dynamic of what that offense would look like off the bench, but I'm afraid the Clippers just say no. I don't think they would be able to do that. But something you need to be able to do, check out this deal at chatsports.com/NBA mask. Go rep your favorite team. Maybe it's the Lakers. Maybe it's another team. Whatever team it is, whatever style you want, and however many you need, you can go get them at chatsports.com/NBA mask. My favorite thing about this is that it's an easy stocking stuffer. Everyone needs a mask nowadays, so it's one of those things where people don't even have to ask about, and you just put it in their stocking, and they'll be happy that they got one, especially if they have your favorite team on the mask. Chatsports.com/NBA mask. That's the best place to go. It's the best place to find your favorite team mask today at an awesome price. I believe they're shipping for free for a limited time only, so go check them out. You can get 1, packs of 2, packs of 3, or packs of 4. However many you need, go check them out. That link right here, chatsports.com/NBA mask. Levi coming in with another super chat says, what do you think about this trade? Eric Bledsoe for Terry Rozier and a second-round pick. So Eric Bledsoe would be going to the Charlotte Hornets, and Terry Rozier in a second would be going to the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't think the Pelicans do this. Listen, if you're going to trade for a veteran point guard, why would you trade down for one? Maybe if they threw a first-round pick in there, it would make some sense. But Bledsoe, I'll be honest, Bledsoe to the Hornets is a good pick, right? Because you go Bledsoe, LaMelo, Gordon Hayward, Bismack Biyombo, P.J. Washington, Miles Bridges, Malik Monk. That's a fun team, but sorry, I think the Pelicans are the team that say no in that one. Let's go to this guy, BB, I guess is what we'll call you. He says, are you sure that if Giannis joins the Mavs, he'll be a good fit with Doncic? Here's the deal. You have an MVP candidate in Luka Doncic. You have a 2-time MVP in Giannis Antetokounmpo. If they can't figure out how to play together, there is a much bigger problem. I don't care if it's a perfect fit. Is it perfect? No. It's not. But no player is going to be a perfect fit. Like Luka and Kristaps, that was a pretty perfect fit, but then you got to think, defensively, KP can guard the rim, but he's not that great on the defensive end. Luka and Giannis, sure, they both need the ball in their hands, but I think they're going to be willing to split time with the ball in their hands if they're going to win a few championships together, which they would. And my pick is still, to this day, and I've held true to this, if Giannis leaves the Bucks, which I'm still not convinced he will, if he does, he's going to Dallas to play with Luka Doncic. So, yeah, I think they'll be just fine playing together. Smoke Show 24 says, best free agent signing of the offseason. Ooh, good question. I'm going to stay away from re-signings. So, guys like Brandon Ingram, Fred VanVleet, those would obviously be near the top of it. But since they stay with their own teams, that's not as fun. So the 3 guys that I think were the highest quality signings based on their contracts, Montrezl Harrell, Serge Ibaka, and Christian Wood. Christian Wood to the Rockets for $40 million over 3 years was a steal in my eyes. Now, I'm not sure how well he's going to fit on that team because I don't know what that team's going to look like here in a little while. Serge Ibaka, though, to the Clippers to make up for Montrezl Harrell. You could argue Serge Ibaka is a better fit on the Clippers than Montrezl Harrell was anyway. And then Harrell to the Lakers, come on, mid-level exception. It's not even fair. Come on, Lakers. Give somebody else a chance. Getting a 6-man a year for $9 million a year is absolutely ridiculous. So all 3 of these were probably my favorite free agent signings. Maybe they weren't the best, but they were my favorite. You look at guys like Gallinari, Bogdanovic. I think they got overpaid. Gordon Hayward is probably the best player that got picked up besides, being guys that got re-signed. But, again, overpaid. So what do you think was the best free agent signing this offseason? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think on this one. Vince sends in another super chat with more award questions. Says first-time All-Star players this year. Ooh, that's a really good question, and you're kind of putting me on the spot because I can't think of a bunch of guys that haven't gotten named to an All-Star team. I'll say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even though Western Conference is, it's a beast to try to be named an All-Star. If Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving get hit with any kind of injuries, I think Karis LeVert could be up there as an option. Who else is another first-time All-Star guy that I'm not remembering? Maybe DeAndre Ayton takes that step with Chris Paul as his guy. You could say John Morant or Zion Williamson, one of the 2 guys that were, in the running for Rookie of the Year this past year. I would definitely look at those guys. Some people are saying Chris Paul in the live chat. Chris Paul's been an All-Star multiple times. You cannot say him. So, guys like Ja, Zion, SGA, maybe DeAndre Ayton takes a step forward. Any of those guys might be a good fit for the first-time All-Star players. Let's go to this question from Zay in J. Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier for Andrew Wiggins and some picks. Not bad. Some picks, though, that phrasing, it scares me. And I think that's why the Warriors would say no. Because the Warriors have to give up first-round picks for Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier. I don't think it's quite worth it. Although Gordon wouldn't be a terrible fit on this team. The problem is, if you go out and get Aaron Gordon, I guess Evan Fournier helps with the spacing. But if you go out and get Aaron Gordon, you run a lineup of Steph, Kelly Oubre, Aaron Gordon, Draymond, and Wiseman. That floor spacing is not very good. Now, if you go Steph, Fournier, Kelly Oubre, Draymond, Wiseman, I guess it would be okay. But at the end of the day, some picks feels like a little bit too much to give up if I'm the Golden State Warriors. Ricardo Pinto coming in with the last question for now, but we got more questions coming up later on today's live show. It says, what's next for Houston this offseason? Regards from Portugal. Hey, thank you for watching from Portugal, Ricardo. Next step's got to be trading one of the two big guys, Harden or Westbrook. I'm not sure which one goes first at this point. I thought it was going to be Westbrook. Now it feels like it might be Harden. And now I'm just, snip, snap, back and forth. I don't know. But I think one of those guys has to go because you just can't move forward until you know what you're working with. And at the end of the day, right now, I don't know if they're going to have either of those guys for a long time. So I don't know if I'm going to try to hold on to them for much longer than really into the training camp.